Hi, folks. Welcome back to my channel again. How are you all doing today? So, I am doing so good, right? So, I'm back with another brand new video, right? Today is gonna be the most informative session. I hope you all will like it, right? So, I'm very confident about this session as this is very informative, right? So, maybe if required, right? So I will be doing parts of these sessions so that you're getting more information of each and every piece which I want to tell you, right? So yeah, let's discuss what we have actually done so far, right? So if you're not watching my Applab series, right, please do go back to my channel Folks Hub. Okay, so do watch every video in a sequence so that you will understand the content better. And if you're having any questions, you can absolutely comment there right below the video, and I will be very happy to clear all your doubts and help you all out with creating very good applications, error free, right? And definitely hassle free. Okay, yes. So, yeah, let's discuss about our today's content too. Okay, so today, yeah, I have been creating few apps so far, right? I just got in my mind that I've been creating few apps, right? And you guys really don't know and understand the meaning of few blocks which I am actually placing, right? So of course I do explain each and every block before using it, right? So let's create like I thought of let's create a video where exclusively I'm talking about blocks, right? Without any other app hassle things and all, right? So today let's discuss about each and every block in little detail, and let's understand where we can use it, right? And how can we use it? Okay, like we have discussed the design components before using them in our apps, correct? So today is completely a very informative session. Let's see how is it gonna be. I even I don't know how many parts is this gonna come up with, right? So but yeah, I will be telling you each and everything in very detailed way so that you are absolutely understanding what exactly I want to tell you, right? So yeah, let's get started with the video now. No more delay. Right? So we all know there are categories of blocks in CodeStudio, right, in the Applab. So we have these categories of blocks, and let's discuss about each category in detail. Okay. So I will be briefing you. Sorry, I'll be briefing up of all these categories first, and then we'll get into more details about these. Right. So UI controls are so basically UI means user interface, right? So on the app you have the user interface where user is interacting with your application, correct? So the interface which is acting between your app and the user will be a user interface, correct? So to control those elements, right, all the design elements, and to control the things which are present on your UI, right? So then you will be using UI controls category, which are in yellow color, right? All these blocks will be in yellow color. We'll be discussing most of them, right? And then we have a canvas category over here. Canvas category is something where like when you're using a canvas element, right? So in the design you have design components, correct? So in the design component you have a special design component which is called as canvas, right? I told you we will be discussing about the canvas component, right? But yeah, this is too early for you to understand this. We'll understand this later. But if you have not checked out my design components video for this canvas, do go back to the playlist and check that out so that you will get a bit of understanding what exactly canvas is. So and then we have few blocks which are related to only and only related to the canvas thing, right? So like to change the colors of the canvas, to draw shapes on the canvas, etc, etc. Okay, so this is related to canvas. And data is again like I told you in my first videos, right, in the beginning of these of this series. So we understood that data is something where when you want to store some information from your app which is being collected, right? So then you'll be using data, and you'll be using tables to store all that data in a format, correct? So now, to deal with this data thing, right? So the database which you are collecting from your app. So to do deal with this, you need data control blocks, right? So you'll be using these blocks for updating your records, reading the records, creating a new record, creating getting the user ID, or all these things. Okay. So and then we have turtle is one of the things which which we have already used in our series before, right? But yes, we will talk about this also, right? So there are few blocks which are only related to turtle. Here turtle is like the pointer on the design screen, right? So whenever you want to draw some shapes, or if you want your pointer to be moving, then you'll be using turtle, correct? So we'll be doing this. And then control is like all your loops, conditional statements. Okay, so all those things are present over here, and these are like the most important blocks ever which you will be using in your app, right? Because control, without the control blocks, right, you can't really do any application. At least a fully functional application which you're creating, correct? So even in our previous video, we have come to the control, and we have used if conditional block, correct? So not only if, whenever you're deciding something, you'll be using conditionals. Whenever you want to iterate, right, you want to continuously execute something, then you'll be using loops, right, and so on like that. Okay, so we'll be discussing about these, and then we have math category over here. So math, we know math means operators and stuff, correct? So we have few operators here. All these are operators, and then there are few exclusive functions which we can use from the math, right? So math class, so those exclusive functions are over here, like the power function, then square root. To find out the minimum value, we have min, maximum value for max, absolute value, round it off, random. Okay, so these are a few things which we have in it. And then we have variables. So variables is a very important section again, and without a variable, right, so most of the coding is like doesn't really happen basically without a variable, right? Without any storage element, how can you actually go and go ahead with a project, correct? So we'll discuss about this variables also. And functions is like one of the very important categories of all. Okay, so why functions is very important? Because you can actually create something of your own, right? And you can use this function anywhere. Okay, functions have many advantages. I will be telling you about functions in detail whenever I'm doing that video, that category video. Okay, so let's discuss about each category now. Okay, starting off with UI controls, because UI controls is one of the most used blocks, right? Because while you're using the events thing, you'll be using a UI control block only. While you're dealing with the UI itself, like without the UI, app is not possible, correct? So then how why not UI controls is the most used blocks, right? So that's how. And yeah, on event, so let's discuss about this on event, because this is one of the very prominent blocks we have been using so far, right? So on event is a event handler block, right? So where you will be handling few types of events using the same block. Okay, so what do I mean by event? First, event is something when something occurs, then you want some action to be taking place, right? So in that case, you will be using the event block. Okay, so on event means it's like when something happens. Okay, so when you're doing something, then you want some immediate action or reaction to be happening, correct? So then in such cases, you'll be using this kind of a event block. Okay, so then what kind of events can happen? What is that I'm talking about, at least, right? So let's see. We have multiple types of events which can occur. Okay, so starting off with the click event, which is the very prominent one again. Okay, so click event is nothing but when you click on a button, right? So then something should happen definitely, because button is obviously a clickable element, correct? So for that kind of a thing, in that kind of a scenario, you'll be using click event. Okay, so like for example, if I have to tell you So you have a button over here which is run button, right? So without clicking on this button, you really can't execute your code.org project, correct? So that means you're clicking on this button. Here behind this button, what is acting, right? So you have a on event block, something like this, right? Which is acting upon this button when you click on it. Okay. So that means when you want some action to be taking place when something is done, right? So that is event. Okay. So here click is the event. Okay. So when you click on something, whatever the ID you choose, that will be the element. Okay. So when you click on this particular element which has the ID, right? Then something should happen. You're actually telling this to your computer with this block. Okay. So and then we have change event. Change event is something like when you're using a sliders, let's suppose, right? So you are changing the value on the slider, right? So you'll be moving the slider to change the value on it, correct? Because always slider will have numbers on it, right? So that scenario you'll be using change event. Okay. And then we have key up. Key up is like related to the keyboard. These are called as key press events, we say. Okay. So key key up in the sense like when you are clicking upon a sorry, pressing upon a key, right? So when you are releasing that, that means your key is up. Okay. So that is key up. Key down is when you are pressing it. Okay. So that is key down event. Key press, then what is key press? Key press is nothing but you, if you just press on the key, that's it. Okay. So at times you only want to code something like when you're pressing some key, you want to do some action. Okay. So and it's not related to the continuous key press or something like that, right? So in such cases, you'll be using key press when you have something to be done continuously, or when you like lift your finger from the key if you want to do something. In such cases, you'll be using key down and key up. Okay. So key down means when your key is down, then you're doing something. When immediately if you're removing that finger from your key, then something should happen, no? So then key up. Okay. So it's something like this, a very minute difference. Okay. So when you are using it in fact, right, then in your app, so then you'll be understanding it better. But I hope you got the idea of what key press and key down means. So mouse events are again definitely a prominent event which we will be using. Why? Because we have mouse and we should be using the mouse events, right? Because we are creating web applications on code.org Applab. Okay. So I hope you understood this. Web applications, that means you need a browser to use this, right? So that's why we have mouse events also. Okay. In case if you're using your app on a laptop, right, we definitely have to have some browser, and in that browser itself you will be doing this. That means you should be having a mouse with you. So when you are having a mouse, you can use these events. I mean, when you are using that in your application, then you will be using this event. Okay. So mouse move is nothing but when you are moving your cursor. Okay. Mouse down, that means when you are left clicking on the mouse, right? So mouse up means when you are releasing that. Mouse over means when you hover over some element like this. Okay, this is mouse over. Okay, I'm hovering over the on event now, right? So I'm hovering over ID now, so it's something like this. Okay, mouse over. And mouse out, that means when you are taking that out from the canvas like this. Okay, so if I'm hovering over here on the design sorry, mobile simulator, right? So this is mouse over. If I'm taking it out, mouse out. Okay, so that's mouse out. And then lastly, we have input event. Input is something which is very helpful. Okay. Very helpful, I mean, very much helpful, right? So you can like put a star mark on this event because input event is used most of the times for most of the things. Okay. Like for almost every UI element we use, right? Like text input box, if you're having a drop down, you'll be using this. If you have a slider, you can use this, right? So for most of the things you'll be using input. So this is one of the you know um, very important things which we will be using. Okay, so this is how the on event block has so many events. For each event occurrence, if you want to do something, you will be placing all those blocks inside this function, right? So this is an event handler, and every event handler should have a function, because when this event occurs, then it has to perform something, no? So if it has to perform something, that means it should have a function. Okay, so function is something where you want to tell your computer to do a specific task. Okay, so and here in this function, if you are placing some block, that means you are creating a function where it has to do that task for you, right? When this particular event occurs. Okay, so then it can be any block, whatever you are placing inside this on event, right? You can even place another on event too. That's up to you and based on the need. Okay, so and based on the event occurrence also again, right? So this is about the on event block. Okay, and then we have a button block. If you want to you're not really placing a button on the mobile simulator. Okay, but you dynamically want to create a button using the code. Okay, then you will be using this kind of a button block. Okay, so button block is used when you dynamically want to create a button on the app screen, right? So and then you have text input. So text input is used when you want to dynamically create a text input. Okay, if you're not placing it in the design already, but you want to dynamically create the element or the component on the screen, then you can use these kind of blocks here. Okay, text label is just to create a label. Okay, and drop down is to create a drop down, right? So and okay, these are the elements, like you are dynamically creating the elements, right? So these blocks are for those. And then we have get text block. So I'm just placing it over here because I can't really place this below this. Okay, so but this is not meant to be placed over here. That is one thing. And get text. So get text is something which is used to get the text from any design element. Okay, so it can be a label, it can be a if you want the button name, then you can get text from the button also. But most of the times we definitely don't use this for a button. So get text can be used on a text input, get text can be used on a label, right? And if any other element which has text in it, like text area, yeah, you can use it there also. Okay, so get text will get the text from the component or any element, right? And then we have set text. So it's like opposite to get text, right? So get text is getting the text and set text is setting the text on the component. Okay, you can set the text on button, you can set the text on label, you can set the text on text input, you can set the text on text area, and so on. Okay, and then next we have get number. Get number is again similar to get text. Get text will get all types of characters. Okay, get number, unlike get text, it is only limited to numbers. Okay, so it can only get the number. So if you want to be very accurate and appropriate with your code, right, you can use get number when you only have numbers, right? You can use get text if you have multiple types of characters like strings. Okay, and then set number. So set number is something like opposite to get number again. Get number will get the number from the component and set number will set the number on the component. Okay. Then it can be any component here. Like it can be a button, it can be a label, it can be then text input or any other thing. Okay. So then we have checkbox. Checkbox, like I told you, these components are there, right? So something similar to that. Okay. If you want to dynamically create a checkbox, right? So then you can use this one. Okay. And then we have radio button. So dynamic creation of radio button. Then get checked to get the status of the checkbox, like if it is true or false, right? So from any checkbox, if you want to get the checked status, then you can use this get checked. And set checked is if you want to manually set the checked thing, like in the just previous sessions itself, right? In the previous videos we have used this set checked and get checked things, right? You can just go back to that video and understand what exactly these means. Of course, like I now told you, you can set the checked thing and you can get the checked thing from this get checked thing. Okay, so image, if you want to dynamically create a image, right? So and then get image URL to get the image URL from some component. Okay, or from image itself. Okay, so and then set image URL, you can set the image URL on the particular image if you are placing some image which is empty, right? If you want to set the image on of I mean some URL on that image, I'm sorry, right? Then you can use this one. Okay, so then play sound, like you can just understand by the name itself, play sound is nothing but to play the sound, right? So to play some sound in your app, whenever you click on something or whenever something is happening, whenever some event is occurring, you can absolutely use play sound. Okay, and then next we have show element. So show element is something like when you are hiding the element, If you remember, let's go back to design and just click on some component over here, or I'll just drag this so that I can show this to you. So you can see hidden over here, right? So if I do this, this button is hidden now. It is not visible on the screen if I run it. Let me show you. Okay. Actually, this is don't really worry whatever is happening on the screen. This is just because we have so many code blocks here, and I'm setting the image. I'm doing so many things over here, right? So just because of those things, we have all these, right? Like I told you, to dynamically create a button, you have a button thing. Dynamically creating a text input for text input. Okay, so don't worry about these, but you really can't see the button one which I was placing on the screen, right? Because it is hidden now. Okay, to show that element, you can absolutely use show element block. Okay, so let me show you. So show element button one. Okay, let's see, run. You can now see the button element. Okay, so to show the element, we can use the component. Okay, I mean show element block. Then we have hide element, opposite to show element. To hide the element, you can use this one. Delete element definitely deletes the element with the ID which you're specifying, right? So if you want to delete the button one, right, you can just drag this delete element and choose button one. It deletes that element. Okay. So set position is a very important block, because if you want to set the position of any component manually, right, you can do it from here, right? And in some apps, like if you're creating some game kind of application, right, so in such cases, what happens, your character has to be positioned somewhere, your character has to move somewhere, right? So you can do all of those kind of things using the set position block. Here you have to give the element which you want to position, and then the first zero over here is the x value. Second zero over here is the y value. That means the coordinate system values. If you have not checked my coordinate system video, right? So x and y coordinate system, just go back to my channel and do watch that, so that you can understand the about the x and y coordinates on Applab or any other thing. And then we have 100 and 100, right? So the third value is for width. So width of the component, if you want to set the width of the component, and if you also want to set the height of the component, you can actually give the value over here. Okay, so that is what your set position block do. And set size, like the name itself suggests, set size will set the size of the component, like width and height for the specified element. Okay, set properties, again, this is like very 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 important block. Okay, I you can just understand very 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 very, that means it's like so important. Okay, so why and how it is important, right? If you might have observed, if I want to set any property on the component, right, I will definitely go and use set property only, right? To change the screen color, or to change the whatever it is, like whatever the thing you have to do, right, on any component. So like all these properties can be set using the set property block itself. Okay, so all these properties, I mean to say, let's discuss few of them. With, okay, height, x position value, y position value, color, background color, border width, border color, border radius, font family, font size, text alignment. If it is hidden, or if you want to do something on the hidden element, then text, placeholder, image, icon color, icon size, group ID, checked, read only, options. For all, for radio buttons, check boxes, we can use set property for all of them. Okay, so value, minimum, maximum, step, fit, index, all these are for slider, right? So you can see, you can understand, you can set any property, right? Any given property on a design element using the set property. So one of the mostly used thing, and most useful also, right? And then get property, so opposite to set property to set the property, get property to get the property from the element, right? So let's suppose if you want to get the button color. Okay, so get property of button one, and you can say color, so then it will get the color. Okay, background color, or font family, or whatever it is. Okay, whatever the property. right? So you can get the property. Then write. So write is something like it appends the specified text to the bottom of the document. Okay, so the text can also be formatted as HTML, and so this is like a different story again. Okay, and get X position and get Y position. If you want to get the X and Y positions of the elements, you can use this one. Set screen. When you're using, I mean, when you're creating a multi-screen applications, you might have seen or observed already, because we have created few multi-screen applications so far, right? So set screen is used there. If you want to set the screen manually, like if you want to start off with the screen which you want to, right, you can absolutely set that here, right? RGB again, when you're dealing with colors, right, so you'll definitely use RGB only. Okay, colors like red, green, blue, and the alpha value, like transparency you can give. You can set RGB for any component which you're using, like let's suppose if you're using a button and you want to change the background color, you can definitely use RGB, and you can set your own manually mixed color, right? So if you're writing any R value, G value, B value manually, that means that's it. You're customizing your own color. Okay. So then open. I'm sorry. So open URL, right? Open URL is something like to open some URL in your app. Okay. So you can use this one, right? So this is all about your UI controls category. So we have discussed about all these components here, right? So I have explained about each and every. Okay. If you have any question regarding any block, you can absolutely comment and ask me, right? So don't ever hesitate to ask anything, right? I'm here to help you all out, right? So I want you all to learn something very good, right? And that too, authentic content, I mean, right? So definitely you have to understand all these blocks, so that you can absolutely use it wherever you want, right? And if you want to create an app on your own, then also you can absolutely use this content knowledge which I was delivering now, correct? So that's why I wanted to do such kind of a video where I'm explaining about all the UI control category, right? So if you have any questions regarding any block, if you're not understanding how to use them, okay, so you can absolutely ask me, right? I will be very happy to help you all out. And this is about the UI controls video. Okay, so and in the next session we'll discuss about the next category, right? So this was all about it, and I want you all to practice more and more, to get used to it, and to get a hold of your app creation and all, right? So don't leave it in the meanwhile, do continue whatever you're doing, right? So only then you will be understanding how to use it and how to do it. Okay, so if you have any questions, queries, if you want to ask me anything, you can absolutely ask me. Okay, so this was all about today's session, and I hope you really enjoyed this session, right? So I don't really want to extend this session more further, right? Because I want you to understand each category individually, and just practice upon those, right? So that's why. Okay, and I will be doing this series now, right? We'll discuss about all the categories, and I also wanted to share a piece of information with you all. Okay, so maybe I'm just giving you the links, and I don't know if you are really able to remix the project, or rename and save it, share it, right? So let me tell you how you have to rename your project first. So click on this rename option over here, give some name, saying let's say I want to give blocks. So I'm just giving blocks, and then if I click on save, this will be saved in my account. Okay, so I have given Veena here, right? So it will be saved in Veena's account only. Okay, so you can rename it from here. If you want to share your project with someone, and if you want to showcase your work, right? So let's suppose if you want to share it in your WhatsApp, okay, then what to do? You just have to copy the link from here, and you just have to put it in WhatsApp. That's it. Okay, so just click on share. You will have copy link to project button. You just need to click on this, it will automatically copy that. Okay, and then don't click on send to phone until and unless you are a US student. Okay, so if you are from US, you can definitely use this option. If you're not from US, don't. Okay, so because that will not work, this will only work for US people. Okay, so and then copy link to project will work for anyone. Okay, so click on copy link to project, and wherever you want you can paste this. Let me just show you. So I'm just clicking on copy link to project, close this one, come back over here. So I'm just pasting that and I'm clicking on enter. So you can now see, once this loads, so you'll be seeing, see, so this is the app which I was creating there, right? Don't worry about this mess and all, right? So excuse me for that, right? So and then let's now whenever I'm sharing a link with you, that means that is something like this. When you click on that link, you will get something like this screen, right? Then after this, what you have to do? Okay, so you have to click on view code. So yeah, so this is how it opens the code. Okay, but then like I've already logged in and this is my project only, so you can directly see this. But in your case, it will not be the same. Okay, so because you will have to remix this project to get this into your account. Okay, so then how to remix it? Just click on this remix option. It will create a copy of this project in your account also. Okay, that's it. Just click on this one and you will understand the process once you are doing this, right? So just practice all of this and do all of this, right? If you have any questions, you can always contact me on the comment section. And yes, this is all for today, guys. I will be meeting you all in the next brand new session with the next category, right? So yes, till then, please stay safe and healthy, right? So do watch all the content, but see, watch your screen time and then do it. Okay, so do your eye exercises, be healthy, be fit. I'll be meeting you in the all in the next video, and bye bye. Have a great day, guys. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel Fox Hub. Bye bye.